crocheting, you want to try tapestry crocheting, and you have no clue where to start, I got you. And you may wonder, what are your credentials? Well, here's a TikTok of almost all my tapestries.
I drank a beer. I drank another beer. 3 beers. 4 beers.
Oh no.
5 beers.
Oh
no. 6 beers. 7 beers. 8 beers. 9 beers.
They're pretty nice, huh? So I'm gonna teach you the basics, literally 2 colors, just so you can get the hang of it, and eventually you can branch off from there, but this is where you start. This is the basics. What you need are 2 colors of yarn. I chose purple and blue. I wish I chose darker colors, but I'm sorry. And a hook. I suggest using acrylic yarn, weight 4 to start with. I didn't have that available right now, so I used what I had. And for starting, use a 4mm hook. It is just easier to see the stitches, and eventually you can move on to a smaller hook, a bigger hook, different size yarn, what have you. You will need yarn, a hook, a tapestry needle, and some scissors. The only stitches you will need to know is a single crochet and a chain. That is it, a single crochet and a chain. Okay, I realize this probably looks really intimidating. Ignore the scribble at the bottom, please. But it's actually not. I just figured it would be easier for me to show you this way. I broke them up into the rows, and I know some of the numbers are going backwards, but that's for visual effect. So in total, this pattern has 15 across and 15 up. So height 15, width 15. That's important because that, for the width, that's how many chains you're gonna do, and +1 for the turning chain. I personally don't do a turning chain after the first row, but that's just me. But for the sake of this being a beginner tutorial, I am going to do it. So 15 chains of blue, because that's your starting color, and then +1. Make a slip knot, stick it on your hook. I actually usually use a 3.5mm hook for my tapestry crochets, but for the sake of you seeing what I'm doing, I'm going to use a bigger one. So we're going to chain 15 +1, so 16. Here is what we are starting with, 16 chain. We go back here, see we went left to right. Now we need to start from right to left, which is why the numbers are backwards. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 single crochets of blue, but do not finish the 4th one. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So we're gonna skip this first stitch because that's your turning chain. That isn't a thing we're going to do. And we're going into the 2nd stitch. Okay, so we need to single crochet 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, but we're gonna go in, we're gonna pull up, and we're gonna stay here. You're stopping here. Because now we have to introduce our purple, and we need 1, 2 of those. So here's how you color change, and for now we're gonna use the floating method. So take your purple yarn, the correct way, and you're going to make a loop, just like that. Just make a loop, and make sure that your tail and your yarn and everything is behind the project, and always make sure that your yarn is behind in the back. We'll elaborate on that further. Take your loop, just hold it so it doesn't go anywhere, put it on your hook, then just secure it, push it, whatever, and pull the loop through your 2 remaining loops on your hook. Now this is the front of your work. The back of your work is where everything is going to be. Like when you're working in the front, your yarn's going to be in the back. When you're working in the back, your yarn's also going to be in the back facing you. And you always want to make sure of that. So now that you've attached your purple, make sure everything's all secure. And don't worry, you can tie the end in later, it's not going anywhere. Now we need to do those 2 single crochets. These ones. And now you're holding your purple yarn. So the blue yarn, forget about it for right now. Okay, now we go into our next 2 stitches. We're going to single crochet 2. But don't forget, do not finish that second single crochet because we need to switch back. Sorry if there was a weird random cut, I got a phone call in the middle of that. So first one is done, second one we go in, we pull up these 2 loops and we stop because now we have 3 blue. So in order to switch that, you drop the purple yarn. You go back, you pick up the blue yarn. And don't like put too much tension on it, just like loosely grab it and pull it through those 2 loops. And now we're back to blue. So we need 3 blue single crochets. 1, 2, and 3, but don't complete the 3rd one. Drop the blue, go back, grab your purple working yarn, and pull through. Now we have 2 purple single crochets. 1 and 2. Don't finish it, drop it, and continue on for those last 4 blue single crochets. Just leave the purple there. 1, 2. Try not to get your yarn jumbled up. I'll tell you about that in a second. It's annoying once you get too caught up. 3. And the last one's always tricky, but you just gotta kind of fandangle it. 4. And there is your first, well, technically second row. At the end of every row, you chain 1 and you turn. I'm gonna do that in a second, but I'm gonna show you the back. Okay, the back, this is where it's like floating. You know, like you're just taking the yarn with you instead of going under and crocheting over it, you just float it. Now, I do suggest trying to keep like 1 yarn on the left or the right and 1 yarn on the left. If you can't do that, it's okay, but it'll just be a hassle if they get tangled. Now, since we finished row 1, I'm gonna put a little check beside it, and then row 2, and check beside that. But now we're starting row 3, and we're starting it from left to right again. So, but we're doing it in the back. Obviously, I'm gonna show you that. So we need 3 blue, 4 purple, 1 blue, 4 purple, 3 blue. So you did your chain and you turned, and now you're looking at the back. You always have to make sure that your working yarns are in the back. Always, because if it's in the front and you don't notice until a few rows later, you are kind of screwed. So we're in the back now, and we need 3 blue single crochets. Just go in. 1, 2, oops, 3 single crochets, but you stop before you finish the 3rd one. We have 4. Okay, so we take our purple yarn, purple working yarn, and we grab it with our hook and we pull it. You see how I accidentally left that in the front? That won't do. So we get rid of that. Always make sure your yarn is behind your work. Make 4 single crochets. So 1 is going to go into this blue right here, over your 2 purples, and onto this blue. But don't finish this one. Put your yarn in the back. Now we have just 1 blue, 4 purple. So we're going to make sure our purple is in the back again. We're going to take our blue. Oops. We're going to take our blue, pull through that. And then we're just gonna do that stitch directly beside it. Single crochet, but don't finish it. Put that in the back. Grab our purple, pull through, and make those 4 purple single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to cover anything that I'm doing, it's just really awkward the way I'm filming. Now we're chaining blue, so don't finish it. Down the back, grab our blue. I'm sorry if there's any weird cuts in this video. I have no storage on my phone, and unfortunately I can't afford a camera, so. Once you get the blue back on your thing, you're done with purple, you just crochet blue the rest of the row. When you reach the end of the row, chain 1 and turn. Now we're on row 4, so we're going right to left. So we need 2 blue single crochets, 11 purple single crochets, and then 2 more blue single crochets. Now I think you're starting to get the hang of it. You know, you do the single crochets, you stop before the next color change, and then you change the color. It's always important to remember like what side you're working on, where to put your yarn, so you don't accidentally end up with yarn in the front when it's not supposed to be in the front. It's never supposed to be in the front, it's always supposed to be in the back. But yeah, I didn't really mean to be silent this part. I am doing a voiceover, so sorry about that. But it's pretty straightforward. Row 4 is 2 blue single crochets, and then you change to purple, 11 purple single crochets, color change to blue, 2 blue single crochets, and don't forget to chain 1 and turn after every row. I'm going to cross out the 4 rows that we did, and then we'll be left with the remaining, and I'm going to let you do that kind of on your own. I am going to check in. I'm going to let you look at this, screenshot it, what have you. We are currently on row 5, so we are going left to right, right to left, left, right, right, left. Remember, we're always going in the opposite direction. And remember to keep your yarn behind your work. I'm going to check in after every row to show you what mine looks like so you can compare. And don't forget that turning chain. I just finished my row 5, and I am purposely making the back a little bit tighter so I can show you what to do if you made your tension a little bit too tight, so don't worry if you did. But now we're moving on to row 6. I just finished row 6, and ignore the sides of mine. Okay, I forgot that I was chaining 1, so always chain 1. It'll look better than mine does right now. But I just finished row 6, 3 blue, 9 purple, 3 blue. Finished row 7, 2 blue, 4 purple, 3 blue, 4 purple, 2 blue. Now we're starting in the middle, the little inside piece. So it's starting to come together. I finished row 9. Here's what the top looks like. 1 blue, 5 purple, 3 blue, 5 purple, 1 blue. Row 9 is done. It's the same as row 8, so same amount of things, just going the opposite direction. Row 10 is done. 1 blue, 13 purple, and 1 blue. Row 11 is done. We're almost there. 2 blue, 11 purple, and 2 blue. Done row 12, and we are almost at the end of the flower portion. So 5 blue, 5 purple, and 5 blue. Row 13 is another repeat round, and here's what mine looks like. And one more round, and we are at the top of the flower. So 5 blue, 5 purple, 5 blue. Once you get to row 14, it should look like this. 6 blue at the top, 6 blue, 3 purple, 6 blue. and we are going to turn it over, and we're going to cut our working purple yarn off. I'm not someone who weaves in the end, so I don't really care how much you cut off, but for this sake, we're going to cut off like that much. I know it seems scary cutting off the purple, but it's not going anywhere. Like, it is in your project. It's not going anywhere unless you unravel it all. Now all that's left is the last row, the 15 row. That's all that's left is the 15th row, so it's just blue across, and then you can cut the blue and fasten off. Ta-da, and now you're done. I do suggest leaving this one like a little bit longer so you can weave it in, but the back ones, it does not matter. So here's the front. Mine's a little wobbly. That's completely my fault. It won't look like that if you continuously chain one at the end of each row. And here is the back, because you floated everything. Now you may notice that in some places your project seems really tight, and that might stress you out. As you can see right there, it's a little bit tight, and down here, but we're focused on this one. This one's pulling our project. This one's pulling our project in a way we don't like. Here is where your trusty scissors come in. You're gonna find the one that's making you grieve, and you're gonna cut it right in the middle. Now it's cut. I'm also gonna cut this one because it's also a little bit too tight. Now I'm gonna tie these ends together. Just tie them in a knot. Tie them in a loose knot, not a tight knot. Do try to double knot it if you can't, whatever, but if you don't have two strings that you cut directly beside each other, you can just like tie it to a remaining one down below or one of your ends. You just cut it and you tie it, and now your project lays flatter. Same with the end that I cut off from one of the yarns I was working with. I like to tie it to one of these so it's not so in the way. Any yarn that was just flapping away, I tied it to another yarn thing, and besides the two blues, the one that we just fastened off and the one that we started with, those I like to weave in just for security. I will say I wish I used more contrasting yarns, but I do hope that you can still see it fine and everything, and I hope this helped. If you want to know how I do any other tapestry crochets, because I do a lot of them, let me know. But yeah, I suggest like starting with small graphs like this to get the hang of it, then eventually move on to like 3-colored graphs. It's the same exact thing, just more colors obviously, and it's all the same basis: single crochets, color changes, switching to the back, and all that good jazz. This where you're like, I don't really understand and you need me to break it down for you, I absolutely will. I hope this helped. I'm sorry I'm not the best at tutorials. I tried really hard. But yeah, I will link Pinterest down below if you want to go look at those tapestries, the ones that I'm doing. I did that one and that one. But I hope your days are amazing, and also happy holidays.